David Troyan. And jumping center for AU will be Lauren Stack, a 6'2 junior. Taiwo is 6 feet, redshirt junior from Hanover, Maryland. We're underway from the Smith Center as the ball goes out of bounds to me, and I will trigger the ball in.
Byron, I want to say it's been, just getting started. You had some really great reflexes there. You're already in midseason form.
I see that basketball coming right at me. I'm like, uh-oh, 6 on 5. Man-to-man from AU to begin. Essence Brown has it at the top of the key. Taiwo near the right circle. Look at Maddie Loader. Low blocks. There's Taiwo with the left hand and sweetly through, and GW on the board quickly.
Byron, Myla Taiwo has always been, in my mind, worth the price of admission. She busts her butt on defense and makes really smart plays on offense.
Driving all the way through is Emily Fisher, almost untouched, and a nice drive for the Eagles, and a quick 2-2 game.
Fisher's one of the 2 returning players from American who averaged double figures this season, but also Jade Edwards is another one to watch, number 10 for American University.
Yara Frames brought the ball up. She's got it at the top of the key. Taiwo turning, hands it off for Webster on the left side. Here's Essence Brown. Gives it over to Frames, 5 on the shot clock. Trying to get the ball into Webster inside, knocked away by Lauren Stack, and GW unable to get a shot off.
Byron, I think fans are going to have to get used to that a little bit when you're merging a lot of different people and places and figuring out who's able to handle what in what moments.
And now the GW women's starters brought to you by BB Bop. It is Frames, Webster, Brown, Loader, and Taiwo. American with a quick basket there from Maddie Doring, and they lead it 4-2. Brown from last year, same for Taiwo, with Webster one of the newcomers. Essence Brown, the long 3 attempt. Rattles off the side rim, and the rebound for Maddie Doring.
It's good to see George Washington getting back on defense.
And there's a great example, Dave, with the charge call, and Taiwo taking it for GW.
Taiwo's going to be someone really interesting to watch, Byron, because Myla had 2 double-figure performances in the A-10 tournament. She's bringing a lot of momentum in from last year and already making a difference.
American was 7-4 last year, preseason number 4 in the Patriot League selection. GW 9-14 last season. And with her new head coach, Caroline McCombs from Stony Brook. Kira Frames, dangerous pass stolen away by Jade Edwards. And she'll drive up and lay it in with the left hand. So a quick 4-point lead for the Eagles.
George Washington has to be really careful. Jade Edwards is going to be able to find ways to get buckets. You can't make it that easy for her.
She's preseason All-Patriot League and preseason Player of the Year selection. Frames from the left side. In and out of the three-pointer. Taiwo gets the rebound. Fresh shot clock at 20. Frames with another chance with the left hand. Brown will drive into the paint, and the jumper does not go that time. Emily Fisher the rebound, but you can see how Brown is trying to assert herself here early on. Much more aggressive than we saw last year.
Oh, it's night and day.
Taylor Brown drives and draws the foul for AU.
Byron, one of the things that's really interesting when you see a new staff come in, they see different things. And when you bring in a different system, certain players find a new life when they work with a different coaching staff. And obviously, Coach McCombs has seen things she likes.
It's an and one, actually. No, they did not count the basket. There's the first one. I thought it was seeing something when they put it up on the board there. So 7-2 AU, and the free throws from Taylor Brown. Her dad, Mark, is here from Minneapolis. Goes to all of her games from Minnesota. Nice to see him in D.C. to watch his daughter.
Can you imagine the frequent flyer miles?
We're going to get a sponsor. Dave's on that sponsor right now. Maddie Loader from the left side. Ball's knocked out of bounds. They say it's off of GW.
Byron, what I really want to see from George Washington is Kiara Frames asserting herself a little bit more. Coach McCombs is really expecting her to be sort of the engine that drives the GW offense. You can see how hard she's working defensively, but she hasn't really gotten into the groove right now or have the feel.
Great backdoor to Emily Fisher, and she scores again, and AU's got the early 8-point advantage.
90% of the scoring comes back for AU, so you can see the advantage of experience, a team that works very well together while GW is still merging new pieces.
Frames works her way to the free throw line, kicks it back out to Brown. An entry intended for Taiwo, but Edwards another steal. You talked about Jade Edwards. You have to be careful throwing the ball around her.
And not only does she an all first team, or the preseason player of the year rather, she's also from the all defensive team last season. She can do it on both ends.
Stepping out of bounds was Maddie Doring, turnover for AU. There's the look at American. 64 points per game last year. That was top 5 in their conference. And also beating teams by at least 13 points, so the scoring margin was always up there too.
Yeah, and last year's really unique season. They went 6-1 in their division within the Patriot League and had a really excellent season and a ton to build on this year.
Loader, the three-pointer from the right side, something she struggled with last year. That is a great sign. A new season, new beginning for Maddie Loader.
And that's where you have to see some of that momentum coming. You can see the offense creates defensive opportunities. They're moving well.
That backdoor is knocked away. Great job there by Ty Moore, who just came in the game, and she's got the ball at the right side. Ty is a graduate student from DC through Trinity Valley Community College and Troy University. One of the great finds for Coach McCombs. Long three-pointer doesn't go there for Loreno. And here comes the Eagles. Fisher inside. Frames trying to stay with her. Edwards has the ball knocked away by Moore. Good play. Stays with the Eagles.
I've really enjoyed watching Moore on that defensive set. Great rotation, great help defense. A lot of opportunities American was trying to pry, and she blocked every avenue to the basket.
About halfway through the first quarter. This is a doubleheader today at the Smith Center. The men follow at around 8 o'clock, taking on St. Francis of Pennsylvania in their opener for Coach Christian. The drive and the floater is a pretty one for Maddie Doring. She opted out last season, and she's glad to be back playing some college basketball, showing her skill with that role. Chaz Loreno at the top of the key. Taiwo return. Loader. Long three. That one's too long this time. Saved in by Moore. Frames will pump fake and fire a three. Not afraid. Can't get it to go, though.
Look at Moore
still battling Moore. But the ball rolls all the way out for Maddie Doring. Fisher will try to drive against Frames. Knocks her down. Blocking call against Frames for GW.
You can see that defensive philosophy from Caroline McCombs. Kiara Frames will make an offensive play, and she's and Byron, what's really surprising, you have your plan on what you're going to be saying in a broadcast. And what I was going to say was that this was going to be a two-person show for AU. The scoring balance has been really impressive as well. 4 AU players out of the 5 getting on the board very quickly.
Fisher is one of them. She has had an outstanding start. If she makes this, that'll be 6. She's got 5 points to begin the game. Aria Gingras, her first opportunity today for George Washington, the 5'8" sophomore from Edison High School and Alexandria, Virginia. The back door is knocked away. Those passes not working in the mouth of the Eagles defense. Fisher will bring it up. Doring outside for Taylor Brown. And there's Taiwo grabbing a steal.
She just makes plays.
And she has not sat down. She's been in all 6 minutes.
When I talked to Coach McCombs last week, I said, what are you expecting from this game? And she admitted, she said, I don't really know. There's a lot of uncertainty about putting all these pieces together, and I think you're seeing those chemistry issues on the offensive end.
Emily Fisher looked like she took 3 steps, and she did. Great defense there by Aria Gingras. And that's where Caroline McCombs, there's a look at Coach McCombs coming over from Stony Brook, where she guided the Seawolves to their first ever NCAA tournament. And a look at AU's coach, Megan Jebbia, in her 9th season, 137 victories.
Great scoring offense to the Patriot League for AU. Caroline McCombs bringing the nation's top 5 scoring defense over from Stony Brook. Very interesting matchup of styles.
Chaz Loreno works her way to the baseline and fires. Side rim doesn't go. Fisher, another rebound. Jade Edwards looking for some opportunity on the baseline. Maddie Doring. Edwards, the entry to Doring down low. And offensive foul.
You know,
so the defense stepping up here the last couple of possessions for the Colonials.
Yeah, you can see the effort that they're putting in. AU is very much able to score within their offensive sets. GW having to get open looks by trying to create a little bit more. When it seems like when they're running the set plays, they're having trouble with their entry passes. GW is going to have to find a way to execute a little more crisply if they're going to be able to close this gap.
Moreno out of the corner, buries the long three-pointer. She was itching to get going there. 15.8 points per game last season, and maybe she's one of the go-to scorers that Coach McComas would love to have.
You can tell she's not afraid to shoot.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's got the green light on the three-pointers. A couple of them already for GW. Edwards will work her way up and under move off the glass and rim is good. She's a very patient player. You can see that she doesn't force things. She looks for the opportunity. The last couple of possessions it wasn't there. That time it was.
AU spreads the floor very effectively, makes GW chase. They want to play man-to-man. Coach McComas says they usually see opponents play zone against AU. She said, no, we're going to define ourselves by our man defense anyway.
A lot of seniors on the floor right now for the Eagles. Emily Fisher, Jade Edwards. She'll fire from the left side. That one's off. Ty Moore, another rebound. Moreno, great entry pass to Webster. Lots of contact, no call. And AU gets the ball back.
You saw those lobs getting picked off pretty regularly going into Taiwo. Using that bounce pass is a nice adjustment.
Maddie Doring gets it over to Fisher, and Gingras fouls Fisher. So another chance for some free throws here for the Eagles. Now you can see GW searching on offense, but as we've talked about, defense is where they got to try to slow things down for the Eagles. But this team looks like, with four seniors on the floor, they know what they're doing every single possession.
And it's just amazing how much they're forcing GW to chase. You know, you think about the shell drills that you're often seeing when you're running your defensive sets and the space that you're typically covering. AU covers the entire floor. And we saw Roeder in that last play having to go all the way to the three-point line, to the block, and back out to the three-point line. They gotta move a lot to play that man defense.
Fisher 1 of 2 at the line. The Eagles 4 of 6 at the stripe to start the game.
It's got to be relieving for GW to know that AU is capable of missing shots.
First chance for GW fans to see Sierra Bell. And the ball rolls out of bounds. Looks like it's going to stay with GW.
You know, coaches often sort of shrink their rotations over the course of a season. Aria Gingras was not a player that I would have told you I expected to see right off the bat, and she's obviously being given the green light to run this offense.
Webster almost has it knocked away. She'll go all the way through. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with GW. Great drive there from Taylor Webster.
You could see the instincts were there, and she was almost surprised that she had the ability to get to the basket.
4 seconds on the shot clock for the Colonials. Webster, a transfer from North Carolina Wilmington. Brown with 3 on the shot clock, ball knocked away. That might do it. Unable to get the shot off in time, and AU nets another defensive turnover. Under a minute left in the first quarter. Colonials looking to stop AU. Eagles 6 of 7 from the field. Carla Bresch the handoff for Fisher, and then the screen. Taylor Brown at the top of the key. Ivy Bales over to Brown. 3 does not go. Brown with a nice save. Shot clock is off. GW's got a chance here for 1 possession. Under 10 seconds. Gingras with the trap. Can't get the shot off, and we end the first quarter.
She's drawn a foul, taken a charge. She's got 2 points and a steal. She's a player who's willing to do whatever it takes to make the next play. She doesn't have to get her shots, but she will take them, and she's shot pretty well.
A drive inside, and Ivy Bales delivering for AU.
Speaking of shooting pretty well. 7 of 9 now for American from the field.
And the critical issue is points in the paint, 14-2 for AU, as Moore showing some range there with a sweet jumper from the left side.
This is one of those moments where you have to get to know your new coaching staff. Moore saw that the play wasn't really developing well, had the open look, and had the confidence to take it. You know, she's an experienced player. There's a lot of, you know, if not GW experience, then other basketball experience on this team.
Emily Johns loses the ball, driving the other way. Sierra Bell off the glass and rim. Ball loose on the floor. Bodies everywhere, and stoppage in play. We have a held ball or foul. Let's see. Yep, looks like we got a foul call. Looks like it's going to go against Taylor Webster.
Unfortunate positioning for Webster. She was just sitting on the ground and basically brought an American Eagle to the floor.
So the Eagles will bring the basketball up. Fisher has it across the timeline. On the low blocks, and happy feet for Taylor Brown that time. She moved him before she drove, and it's a turnover to help the Colonials' cause.
You know, Byron, there's a lot of possessions in basketball, but when you get a turnover from American, such a senior-heavy staff, this is an opportunity to close that gap and, you know, get to a two-possession game.
Sierra Bell will drive in the lane, float with the left hand, and draws the foul. And smart play again by Sierra Bell, as you can see GW now trying to attack the basket a little bit more.
Yeah, and you want to see a little bit more improvisation, right? They've been following the sheet music and playing classical music. We got to see a little more jazz. Essence Brown had the opportunity to dribble the basketball, look for a new opening, but she was so busy watching all of the cuts that, you know, she wasn't able to make much of it. It's really good to see Bell look for that opportunity and take the chances that were brought to her.
Transfer from Purdue, Fort Wayne, hits the free throw. That's the first free throw of the season for George Washington. Coming in the game for AU, Riley DeRubo, transfer from Fordham in for the first time, number 22. Big free throws there for the Colonials, trim the lead to 6 here, start of the second. Ivy Bales gives it over to Fisher on the wing right. Frames staying with her. Entry and bulldozing everybody there was Emily Johns. Great defense by the Colonials.
Byron, Moore just looks like a natural down there near that charge circle. She's really in command of her space. She has a very good sense of what's going on the defensive end, and she's willing to sacrifice her body to make plays.
Another huge defensive stop for GW as they inch their way back.
I really want to see Kiara Frames get cooking here. She was a little bit jittery, a little bit herky-jerky in that first quarter. This is an opportunity for her.
Sierra Bell will drive, and again, a lot of contact, but she was fouled in the lane, and she'll get another chance here to get 2 more free throws.
Again, when you're dealing with a team that has been so successful the way American University has been in the Patriot League, you got to find your spots. And Bell has obviously found that the rotation down low for AU has been weak and slow. She's able to get to the line.
Bales has to leave. That's her second personal foul. Team foul number 3 against AU. And Sierra Bell gets another chance here at the line. 5'7" grad student from Danville, Illinois, makes them both. 4 quick points from Sierra Bell.
You recruit grad students in as transfers to make grad student plays. She's been playing really well, using her head, looking for those opportunities.
And we got a travel, I believe, on the right side, this time from Taylor Brown. So some mistakes here for American as GW's defense starting to net some opportunities here and get back in this game.
You know, Byron, American started this game looking invincible. They're suddenly looking a little bit more mortal in this game, and they're on their back foot in a way that they just absolutely weren't in that first quarter.
Here's Sierra Bell again. Moore will cut away. Bell works away left side. Coming around is Essence Brown. She tries the baseline. Double team. Back outside for Bell. 8 on the shot clock. Long three is no good. Tap, rebound. Webster gets it. There's a player down. She has the opening. Can't get it to go. And another chance for Moore. She'll fire from the baseline. And another opportunity if Bell can track it down. She does. Look at the hustle from GW.
You know what? You don't have to make every play if you're willing to out-hustle your opponent and get those extra chances.
Kiara Frames delivering right side. And that's what Dave was talking about. Once she relaxes, gets that shot to go, she get in a good flow.
And Byron, GW earned those points, having to get those offensive rebounds and create order out of what was starting to look a little like chaos.
Jade Edwards works her way over to Emily Fisher again. Taylor Brown tries the back door. They love that play, but great defense from Essence Brown. However, a nice three from Riley DeRubo. She was actually here in March when Fordham played GW in the A-10 tournament. Taylor Webster at the top of the key. Kiara Frames lowering the shoulder. Can't get the fadeaway to go.
American still with that balanced scoring attack. You know, the scouting report says it's all about containing Edwards. She's only got 4 points in this game so far, but the scoring has been, again, really, really balanced.
She gets a touch at the top of the key with 12 on the shot clock. DeRubo looks down low. Lauren Stack inside. Edwards with 5 on the clock. And just calmly turns around and fires it in when she sees the shot clock. A veteran play. It's a 7-point lead.
Not a lot of players can just hit that turnaround jumper so smoothly. And she didn't even look like it was any difficult at all.
9 for 11 from the field. 82% for the Eagles. Sierra Bell, the stutter step, spins in the lane. And is called for traveling. Interesting call there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I saw that.
And a lot of substitutions and a chance for Shaz to come back in for GW.
You know,
Maddie Doring is returning for AU.
You know, as American is working through their system and they're really challenging themselves this non-conference season, playing a lot of Power 5 teams, and they're thinking about postseason, George Washington's kind of having a live audition this game, if you will. You know, which players are willing to do certain things, which players are willing to sacrifice their body, which players are able to handle the pressure being under the lights in front of a crowd again. The Stone, 7 lessons to develop grit on the path to mastery. It's a book by a guy by the name of Joshua Medcalf. And Coach McCombs told me that she, in 2017, went to a conference, learned about the book, and really fell in love with the idea of the process drive, and the fact that you won't necessarily get all the results, but it's the how you strive toward those results, rather, that makes it more durable and makes yourself more successful.
Ty Moore gets a nice rebound underneath, but traveled, so AU gets the ball back.
Byron, one of the ways to highlight just how into pound the stone Coach McCombs is, she gave a copy of the book to the entire roster this offseason. We'll let them finish this fast break.
Great job by Shaz to start that break. Kiara gets a big rebound for the Colonials. Pass intended for Ty Moore inside, but it's knocked away by AU's Lauren Stack.
Fans saw the image before, Byron. There is actually a giant stone that all of the student athletes on the women's basketball program signed to commit themselves to those lessons, to develop that grit, and to develop this program the way that Caroline McCombs wants to build it.
That three is no good, and the long bounce out to Taiwo, and she serves it up for Kiara, and here she comes.
One of those senior point guard moves to run and go get the basketball. That's what you see from experienced point guards.
Shaz with a nice pump fake and fires. in and out for that one, and the rebound for Stack. No scoring here, back and forth after the timeout for either team. AU still leads by 7. There's a look on the right side. Kayla Henning, one of her first touches, over to Jade Edwards for AU. 8 on the shot clock for the preseason player of the year. And great defense there by Loreno to force that bad shot, and a turnover for the Eagles.
You know, Shez is a player who was the number 8 junior college prospect in the 2021 class, and you can see that she's really confident shooting the basketball. And there's sometimes you see players who like to shoot but don't love to play D. You're seeing that she's willing to do the work on both ends of the floor.
Kiara Frames brings the basketball across. Myla Taiwo at the free throw line. Entry to Essence Brown off the glass and rim. Tries to tap out, but instead it goes to Edwards. Oh. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll be AU basketball.
GW started that possession pretty out of position and really worked their tails off to recover and force the ball out of bounds.
Pass outside for DeRubo for American. Henning had it on the right side. Back up to Edwards. 7 on the shot clock. Maddie Doring. Low blocks. Might got to walk there. Yep. Traveling for DeRubo. And Kiara Frames showing her defense again.
You know, when you're 5'2", I don't love your chances being the one defending on the low post, but she was able to play with energy, able to stay up in the player's grill and force the turnover.
Taiwo, up and under move, falls down and still makes the play. Great body control from Myla there.
Myla Taiwo was always someone who played with so much enthusiasm, but turnovers were such a problem with her because she would play almost a little spastic. She was working so hard. You can see she's much better contained and much more playing within herself.
A miss there from Edwards, and Frames leads the break. Kiara goes over to Brown on the left side. Laureano on the low blocks for Taiwo. For Iowa, they're going to call a walk that time. But you like that entry pass, trying to create some offense down on the low blocks.
And there's an example of those turnovers that sometimes creep up on Myla Taiwo. You can see her head is getting a little faster than her feet, and her body just can't quite keep up with what she's trying to accomplish. Has the ability to take her time, and she's so strong. She doesn't have to be out quick people all the time.
Eagles have missed 3 shots in a row after starting 9 for 11. And Taiwo gets the rebound after that shot from way outside from Doring. Taylor Webster, the pump fake and drive. Under a minute left, second quarter. Frames has it. There's the trap. She'll drive down the lane. Perfect play. Can't get it to go through. Taiwo, the rebound underneath. And they're going to call a held ball. And that's one of the other things you're talking about. She's got to stay on her feet, too. We've seen her fall to the ground a lot. Got to maintain your balance there. Worked out that time. But to your point, stay strong, stay on your feet. You'll be able to continue the possession.
Yeah, there's not a lot of student athletes here in the Smith Center that can outlift Myla Taiwo. She's so strong, and so she has the ability to really stand firm. But you can tell she just wants to move around and be everywhere at the same time.
Webster will drive. She sees she has an advantage, and she lays it in over the smaller Emily Fisher. Suddenly, GW has cut it to 3 with 30 seconds left till halftime. Doring will work the baseline. Knocked out of bounds by Taiwo. Look at the aggressive defense from the Colonials.
And they're doing a really good job of staying compact. American University only shooting 1 of 6 from three-point. You can see that they're really focused on the help inside and giving American the opportunity for a skip pass and a likely open look.
A 3 seconds shot clock, game clock differential. Here comes Fisher. Frames staying with their balls loose for a moment. Doring on the floor. Over to Edwards, and the shot clock goes off. The defense stepping up again all over the floor for GW.
You could see Kiara Frames tapping herself on the head. GW practiced exactly that play during the shoot-around. That is a case study and a great scouting report.
3 seconds, got to move quickly here. From half court, Frames. No good, but a nice trigger the basketball in. We're underway third quarter here at the Smith Center. AU up by 3 over George Washington. Jade Edwards against Brown on the low blocks. Can't get that one to go. Fell down hard trying to get the foul call. Great defense from Brown. Kiara Frames coast to coast, lays it in, and suddenly it's a 1-point game.
Frames in that first half had that opportunity with the look toward the center of the rim and played it a little bit too hard. And you see those moments where you're a little bit less frantic.
They lost Emily Fisher, though, on the back door. That's a play AU started the game with, and it works here again. 3-point lead.
And if you're a graduate student like Frames, that's something that you're going to be looking at that film and you're going to say, that's really on me. She knows better.
Essence Brown, Kiara Frames sets it up. Maddie Loader on the wing right. Passes inside and driving is Webster with the left hand. Tapped back by Taiwo. Back to Webster. She's wide open, lays it in.
This is a very different Essence Brown that we're seeing from last season. She seems very comfortable, very composed and confident.
Webster took a spill there coming down the lane. Looks like she's okay. And a lay-in for AU quickly from Brown.
Well, you saw how far she slid down the court. It's just the new way that the kids are working their way down the floor.
Different levels. Low, medium, and high. Taylor Webster over to Frames on the wing left. Against Fisher. This matchup has been a great one all night.
Love Webster pacing up the basket like that.
Fisher collects the missed shot. Edwards tries to go, but she did a little stutter step when she was deciding what to do. Maddie Loader was in good defensive position, and it's another AU turnover.
Yeah, Jade Edwards is one of those players that you're always calling shooter. Loader had her marked and knew what was coming, and I think Edwards was expecting that she had run down the floor fast enough and was going to get a good look, but Loader's doing her part.
GW with the ball, down 3. Frames hands it off to Loader. Brown the low blocks. What a pass to Taiwo, but can't finish. Getting some good looks inside the paint. Brown with the long 3. That's no good. Doring finds the ball, but gets it instead to Taiwo, and here comes GW. Entry to Taiwo, has to turn and face. Spins and drives with the right hand. That one, no. 2 in a row, just so close.
George Washington, I think, is going to have to learn how to embrace success. They're almost afraid of that moment where they're able to bring it within 1 point.
Emily Fisher over to Edwards. 6'1" senior Taylor Brown. 7 on the shot clock for Fisher. Frames is on her. Baseline spin from Fisher. Handle lost, ball loose. Brown forces it up, and that is an air ball off the backboard. And the shot clock violation.
A great defensive play by GW again. Byron, what was interesting when I talked to Coach McCombs last week is there's a drill that they run where they're trying to hit a certain number of points, and they were just so far off, practice after practice after practice. And Coach McCombs said, this time we're going to turn off the scoreboard. And when they turned off the scoreboard, they tripled their output. This is a moment where they have to embrace just how good they can be, and part of that is just getting some confidence back after a tough year last year.
Ty Moore sets it up on the right side. We've seen her shooting touch here a couple of times in this game, and that's a great sign. Again, cutting the AU lead down to 1.
Great composure from Ty Moore so far. She's been a real favorite of mine so far in this game.
Quick basket for AU the other way. They're back up by 3 thanks to Edwards.
Edwards has such an impressive mid-range game, and it's just how smooth and how with the finesse that she's able to bring to what she does.
Taiwo this time settles in on the left side and banks it home.
Great touch by Taiwo there.
Colonials looking for a stop. The long 3 is the answer for Maddie Doring. On cue, and it's now a 4-point lead for AU.
That's got to hurt a little bit if you're Coach McCombs, because that three-pointer had really been the albatross around the neck of AU thus far. And for them to knock that shot down is a little deflating.
Offensive foul on a push called against Ty Moore, so AU gets the ball back again. Colonials have led for only 12 seconds in this game. Actually, they've only had the game tied for 12 seconds, so they're still looking for their first lead. Here is Edwards down on the baseline. Fisher crushes frames, and yeah, you got to call that one. Kiara moving her feet well to draw that charge.
And we've seen Taiwo, we've seen Moore, we've seen Frames, all willing to really get in, step in and take those charges. You know, if you've ever played basketball, it's not fun. It's motivating, but it's not fun to step in front of a truck like that.
Taiwo gets the ball, holds on as Taylor Brown overplay foul against the forward for the Eagles. And that is team foul number 2 against American here as we get about halfway through the third quarter. Ty Moore works her way to the free throw line. Up and under for Taiwo. Left-handed hook shot around, softly through. Now she's finding her touch. Couple of shots go in a row.
Yeah, we saw her going too strong time after time, and it seems like what's really been impressive as Taiwo has gotten that experience is the willingness to keep trying and get that touch and get that groove.
Essence Brown with the reach-in foul. Taiwo has 8 points and 6 rebounds. Left open in the corner, can't do that. Taylor Brown, the three-pointer. And that's a couple of three-pointers in a row now for AU.
And this is why I am sitting here and I'm not on the sidelines, because obviously my second half scouting report was a little bit off.
Still plenty of time to change that.
Thanks, Bob.
Ty Moore, the turnaround, and great shot touch from Moore. We're seeing a lot of her touch tonight. That's 6 points for Moore. And a big steal. The ball's loose down the floor, catching up to it, and finishing is Taiwo again. 4 in a row for the Colonials.
You know, I've got 2 daughters, and when I ask my daughters to watch GW basketball, I want them to play with the energy and the enthusiasm of Mayowa Taiwo.
Driving, and a block from Essence Brown. Off Doring. Frames, collects. Lost the handle, though, and it's loose on the floor. We'll have a held ball. Possession favoring George Washington. And we'll have a time.
And she knows what she can do well. You know, she's only taken 1 three-pointer in her entire career. If she's working that low block and playing those short games, she's on her way.
Tough one there for Loreno. A nice spin move, but they're going to say that she fouled the AU player, so it's an offensive foul against Loreno. Boy, I don't see much contact there, but GW will recover here as they have a chance on defense, down by only 1. And here's Jade Edwards inside. Can't get it to go. Great rebound, Essence Brown. Here's a drive. Loreno this time, what she was trying to do before, does it from the left side. And the first time tonight, GW has the advantage.
It sure didn't look like we'd be talking about this in that first quarter, and GW had to take a long time before they were able to get over the hump and get that lead. But they've really been commanding this basketball game over the second and third quarters.
Second time tonight, GW did have a 2-0 lead early in the game, and so great comeback to come all the way back to get the lead back by 1, 36-35.
And if I'm right now the AU coaching staff, the stat that is scaring the heck out of me is 18 turnovers right now for AU.
Fisher in the corner, and a hat tip, a tri-corner hat tip to the GW defense for forcing most of those turnovers. Edwards misses the shot, and here comes Kiara Frames. Transition possibility here for GW.
GW played very tough defense for 28 seconds. It's exhausting, but you can see them reveling in it.
Tylo turns and faces 10 on the shot clock. Drives to the paint, ball stripped out of bounds. Who's going to have the ball? Stays with GW with 7 on the shot clock.
Both Moore and Brown made themselves available on the low block. I would have liked to see Moore get involved there and have the opportunity to play with her back to the basket.
DeRubo back in for American. Ty Moore with a nice jumper from the left side.
So she can do things like that.
Largest lead of the game for George Washington.
AU's not a team that I expect to get rattled in this position. Again, there's a lot of senior leadership. This team has played together for a very long time. I don't see them, taking their foot off the gas.
A drive inside, a pretty pass to Lauren Stack, and she finishes, cutting the GW lead to 1. That was a case in point right there. Moreno dials up a long jumper. That one is off. Fisher the other way. Under 2 minutes left, third quarter.
Byron, you covered a lot of games for GW women's basketball last year, and if you recall, GW had this quarter that was always kind of a stinker, midway through games.
Edwards inside, draws the foul. And it might have an illegal screen there. It's an offensive foul against AU. Yeah, when you watch the game, if you can force a team and not to score double digits in a quarter, that's a big deal. GW was able to do that to AU in the second quarter when they only scored 7. But that's where you get in trouble in women's basketball, when you have one of those quarters, as you said, where you just can't get the offense going.
And if there's 2 directions you can go, right? There's the opportunity to really sort of reset yourself and take advantage of the fact that you're playing 4 quarters instead of 2 halves and find your groove, or you can just never recover.
What a move by Ty Moore. Driving to the bucket. And GW gets back up by 3. She's in double figures now with 10. Alongside Tylo.
And they've been really good shots.
Fisher with a stutter step. Ball loose on the floor. Picked up by Brown. 6 on the shot clock for AU. Step back, no, she'll fire it inside. Dangerous play. Moreno throws it back in. And they're saying it is a shot clock violation, but now the officials might discuss, did GW have possession there to reset the shot clock? Let's see. Moreno tried to save the ball from going out of bounds, so the officials will decide.
It's going to be another sport where we have to define what is a catch.
And how long is, having the ball when you define it as a possession versus just throwing the ball behind your head.
Well, you have to touch the ball and make a basketball move.
Wow, it looks like a break for AU here as the shot clock is reset. Yep, it looks like it's going to be AU's basketball.
That's a gift to the Eagles.
Yeah, Carolyn McCombs is like, what? Can you explain that one to me, please?
Well, and again, AU, they haven't been holding the ball because it's by design. They haven't been able to get good looks, but it's been forcing GW to play really intense defense, 29, 30 seconds at a time, and to have to run through it all over again. I mean, it's frustrating.
Still more discussions here as Emily Fisher is waiting to trigger the ball in, but if it is AU's possession, maybe it should just be 20-second shot clock instead of 30. But nope, they're going to say it was a change of possession, and it will be AU ball. Carla Vresh touches it, gets it back to Rubo. There's Fisher to DeRubo. And a cross pass to Vresh again.
GW doing a really impressive job switching on screens and communicating with one another.
5 on the shot clock for Edwards. Bench is going to have to help her out. She realizes it now. Forces the shot up. Oh, and a big rebound, but a miss underneath the bucket. Ball bounces around. Moore's got it. Clock's going to run out, though, before she can get a shot. But an excellent third quarter for Georgia.
To 8 in points in the paint. GW started the game in the first quarter shooting 1 of 8 from three-point land. They only have taken 3 of those shots. They've been really working hard, looking for the opportunities, and have been very patient getting the ball inside, and that's driven a lot of their success.
Bresh has the ball to Doring. Ball's knocked out of bounds. And a good hustle by Ty Moore there. Thank goodness he had an opening there on the sideline to get through. Not have to jump over the chairs.
A lot of respect for the GW women's basketball program. First, they threw a basketball at your face, and this time Ty Moore just threw her entire body.
I was going to catch her. If she was coming this way, I would catch her so she wouldn't fall down. I guarantee you that. You're talking about your daughter. I've got a daughter as well, so looking out for them. Here we go. Loreno trying to add to the lead. Great pass underneath, and drawing the foul is Taylor Webster.
That was a great pass from Shez. And what I also really like about how that play started is that it's Aria Gingras who's starting the fourth quarter as a true freshman coming in for GW, not one of Caroline McCombs' recruits. She came over from the previous staff, and she's being trusted with the ball, a small lead in the fourth quarter. That's a really great look for her.
Giving Kiara a little bit of breathing room here to start the fourth for that final stretch as Webster hits the first one at the line. 5'10" sophomore from D.C. Georgetown visitation prep, and then UNC Wilmington.
One of the things I've really loved about the transfers coming into GW, that's a tough call.
Going to call a push on Moore, it looks like.
But one of the things I've really liked about the transfers who have been coming in to GW by Coach McCombs has been the local flavor. A lot of D.C. area student athletes coming back home, being able to play in front of their families, and hopefully from a recruiting standpoint, being able to tell their friends and their high school coaches and their AAU coaches about the great experience they had here in Foggy Bottom.
And the official going over the scores table, they have an issue that they have figured out. Each team with one team foul here to begin the fourth quarter, and this is the largest lead of the game for George Washington.
And both teams are going to be able to do a lot of the best of what they're best at. The foul trouble has not really been a factor in this game. So, you know, you're going to have Edwards able to really keep doing work for AU, and GW's going to be able to throw everything they've got.
Bales had foul trouble early on in this game, so this is the first time we've seen her in a while. Ball's knocked out of bounds on the transition the other way. And that clock looked like it was running there. Should be George Washington ball.
21 turnovers by American so far.
Yeah, and you talked about it at the outset. 16.5 averaged per game the entire game last year, so that's well over what they were doing in 2021. The clock was switched from 8:59 back to 9:01 left here in the fourth. Officials got it fixed, and we're ready to go. Gingras on the outside, pressure from Fisher. Driving through the lane, Brown got stripped, ball loose on the floor. Dives for it, gets it back, fires it over to Moore, but they're going to say she was out of bounds. But what effort there from Essence Brown. It's already a tough moment because if you move it all on your back, it's called traveling, and they say the ball hit the baseline, but good hustle.
Yeah, and it didn't work out, but when we talk about that notion of the pounding the stone and doing it the right way to develop that mastery, Essence Brown was forcing things without moving. She was sort of a statue. She's putting the ball on the floor. She's looking for those opportunities. It didn't work that time, but you got to keep being able to do those things to make the offense run.
Bales to Brown, 10 shot clock for Vresh. Fisher has it. She'll work her way to the free throw line. Now the stutter step drive. Steal, Ty Moore. Possible 2-on-2. Drives all the way herself. Lays it up and in. Ty Moore also having a game. She now has 12. She has 2 steals. And the Colonials' largest lead balloons to 6. And that forces an Eagles timeout.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
35-19 run.
You know, when I spoke to Coach McCombs, she had said that she really didn't know what to expect from GW in this game. And we've seen both the good and the bad, right? That first quarter was really pretty rough. But we've seen more resilience. And you don't know how your team is willing to get up and punch back until it's actually time to play an opponent in front of the crowd. And GW has responded in ways that I've been very pleasantly surprised by on behalf of GW.
Jade Edwards for American. In the lane, gets it to go. And this is her time. It's the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Byron. You know, Jade Edwards has been able to benefit from some balanced scoring for most of this game. But if AU wants to get back into this, you've got to go to old reliable, and that's Jade Edwards, the preseason player of the year in the Patriot League.
Double figures with 10. Ty Moore on the right side with the fadeaway jumper, and she's having the game as well. Largest lead back up to 6.
One of the coolest things I learned about talking with Coach McCombs is that Ty Moore actually reached out to Coach McCombs and said, I want to be part of your program. When she had been playing at Troy, she had been playing Stony Brook year over year over year, and she said, I love what I see from that Stony Brook program. I want to play for you now.
Ball was kicked. See if they reset. Yep, shot clock will go to 20. But she is having the game tonight. 14 points for Ty Moore. 7 of 8 shooting. She's also running the offense, too. A nice job to find her on the low blocks. And here comes Edwards again, bouncing off of Brown. Taylor Brown. Edwards leans in, can't get it to go. Ball loose. Gingras has it. What a pass to Brown. She'll drive. Fouled by Taylor Brown, and she'll go to the line. But great recognition. You talk about Aria gaining some playing time. That's the reason why.
Yeah, and again, this is a true freshman playing in a home opener with a brand new staff. And I want to say that play started. Essence Brown overcommitted on defense. Ty Moore did a great job rotating that created the opportunity for GW to go back on the break. They're playing great team defense.
Brown is limping a little bit here. She is in some pain as she goes to the free throw line. So the officials, she might have to step away. Officials are giving her a little bit of time. She's trying to stay in the game, but looks like she got bopped on the leg there during that drive.
Yeah, that was a hard foul. I mean, I think it was almost a Lewis Reed moment there as she knocks down the shot. It was a hard foul. I don't think it was flagrant necessarily, but it was aggressive, and she did go down awkwardly.
Big free throw there for Brown. This is now the largest lead of the game for the Colonials. 8-point lead for George Washington. They trailed by 10 beginning the second quarter.
I don't know if the cameras were able to get it, but Coach McCombs looked Brown right in the eye and said, are you okay? Brown gave her the quick nod and said that she's going to stay in this game.
Bresch tries a 3. It's no good. Loreno up the left side. And Coach McCombs wants to set up a strategy with the timeout. With 6.
Reset the temperature, bring them back to earth, and make sure that they understand the opportunity that they're staring at right now.
Gives Essence Brown a breather, and here's Ty Moore on the turnaround. In and out. Taylor Webster gets the rebound. Ball stripped, though, by Edwards.
AU's got a lot of time in this game so far.
And Jade Edwards does it again with a soft touch from the free throw line. It's a 6-point lead.
You have to love her mid-range game. She's got that a really great touch from, 15 feet.
6 of 14 shooting. She's got 12 points and 4 assists. Bresch blocks that shot from Loreno. And now the AU defense stepping up.
Yeah, Shez wanted to create there, and you could just tell that she got herself a little bit lost.
Doring over to Bresch, ball tipped by Sierra Bell, and a steal. Loreno against Edwards. Edwards takes it back right at the bottom of the paint.
I liked Shez getting there into the passing lane after having some issues on the offensive end. She's really making up for it. Would have been really nice to finish, though.
Bresch to the turnaround off the glass and rim. No, good box out by Loreno. Gingras, one-hander to Webster, dialing a three. That one's a little bit short. Fighting for the rebound, it's Bresch. She's gotten a lot of minutes here in the second half. Fisher, the crossover, lots of contact, foul.
Yeah, you know, you have to look at Webster a little bit. She was so worried about her man. Bell had no choice but to go and commit that foul because no one was picking up ball for the folks who were already down the floor.
Taiwo and Loader come back in for Loreno and Webster.
When you have a lead the way GW does, Milo Taiwo is such a great person to help you protect that lead, making those plays and playing tough.
Good job inside to get the ball to Edwards. She misses the shot, but a big rebound down low by Emily Johns, and she'll go to the line on the foul against GW. Ty Moore picks up her third. Biggest offensive rebound of the game for the Eagles.
It's interesting that Caroline McCombs brings in Taiwo and Loader, the two most experienced members of the GW squad, from a GW perspective, right, Byron? Folks who have been in this building before, folks who have been part of this program for a long time, and having them be the ones try to steady this lead.
4 in a row for the Eagles, cutting the lead in half, halfway through the fourth quarter. Taiwo outside to Maddie Loader. Moore will drive down the lane. Too hard on the lay-in.
Great look by Moore, too.
Edwards quickly the other way. Doring to the bucket. Big time collision. Oh, offensive foul. Wow. Huge play. You could see the officials kind of deciding which way they were going to go there. And that's a big play for the Colonials.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting when you see officials overrule one another, but I did have that moment when it looked like they were signaling for a defensive foul. I was like, this is pretty textbook, and I think they did right to make that change.
Doring's second personal, team foul number 3. Each team with 3 team fouls here in the fourth quarter. And now Megan Chabia has a question for American.
You know, this has been 2 teams.
One of the officials did put up the sign that is the classic sign, as you say, for 2 shots and the foul. And the other official underneath the bucket, as you said, overruled her. So I think that's what the coach was talking about.
And I think the view from under the basket was the right look.
Taiwo basketball on the baseline. Pressure from Bresch. Loader open three-pointer. Can't get it to go. Big rebound. Essence Brown puts it home and snaps the American run. Huge offensive board for Essence Brown in the lay-in.
The Essence Brown show has been a very interesting and surprising storyline in this game, and I'm here for it, Byron.
Nice high-low there. Fisher to Johns. And it's a GW 4-point lead as Emily Johns coming back off the bench to score her first 4 points, and they're big for the Eagles.
GW, this is a tiring time, right? You've been working really hard defensively. GW hasn't necessarily been a bucket factory. They're going to have to continue to lock down and hang on for the next 3.5 minutes because GW hasn't really shown, outside of Moore and spurts, who that go-to person is to get points for GW.
Moore in the corner. Gingras outside to Loader. Here comes the screen from Taiwo. There's the hedge trap from AU. On the right side, the long jumper doesn't go. Big time rebound from Moore. Underneath the bucket, and with the right hand, balances the ball through. Amazing.
Great composure, smart shot. And those short corner shots can be challenging. You don't have the backboard to sort of measure yourself against. But she hit it just like a graduate student should.
16 for Ty Moore. 3 minutes left. Doring sets up a huge three-pointer. Air ball. Rebound from Moore. Gingras not worried about pushing the ball. The entry. Taiwo will drive. Oh. Thought she was going to the line. They're going to call a push on Taiwo.
You know, it's a tough call on Taiwo, and again, we've talked about it before, and it's going to be a storyline all season long, is the ability to sort of keep that control. GW also has to be thoughtful as a team about controlling clock.
That's a tough call on Taiwo right there. Taiwo picks up the personal, her second. Great drive into the paint. And yes, there was a foul call there, but this is only game number one. She does that all season, Dave. They're going to be successful. Hand check foul against Brown.
It's been a point of emphasis for officials across the NCAA this year. They're really trying to make sure that ball handlers have freedom of motion. And for a lot of people who are willing or who have been used to defending on the perimeter, this is going to be a tough adjustment.
I also noticed one of the other points of emphasis is making sure that players don't fake fouls, meaning a lot of times where they can fake the contact and things like that. Something that's been a part of the game for a long time and will be very difficult for officials to decide what's acting and what's a true basketball play.
Well, and we've seen across this game that chemistry is not just something reserved for the student athletes themselves. For officials, they've got to find their way as well.
So the lead is 4 for GW, 2.5 left. Gingras will drive, and they're going to call an illegal screen. That's 2 offensive fouls in a row for GW.
Yeah, GW's got to make sure that they keep their composure and stay patient. A 2-possession lead with 2:23. There's still a lot of basketball left to play, but when you can take advantage of the opportunity to shrink that window for AU, you got to do what you can.
Taiwo's third. Doring three-pointer. That one's short again. Webster, big rebound. Gingras, middle of the floor.
You can see Coach McCombs screaming, slow it down, slow it down.
Brown up top to Webster.
Skip pass to Loader has been available for most of this quarter.
Hand off to Webster in the lane, tries to split the defense and draws the foul. And let's see if she was in the act of shooting. Looked like she was. Yep, 2 shots come up for GW.
I really liked the way that GW has been working in the post so far in this game. Whether it's been Bell or Webster or Moore, they've been doing a really good job of using their footwork, pivoting, and looking for those spaces. And even if they get the 2 shots, it's still an opportunity to score.
Webster now 1 of 3 at the line tonight. But still has an opportunity to get 1 here with 1:48 on the clock. Got it. 5-point lead. Substitution, Ty Moore in for Loader.
Loader and Essence Brown have been trading the responsibility of guarding Jade Edwards. Obviously, it's going to be Brown now moving forward.
Timeout for AU. 1:45 on that. And most of them here coming in the last 6.5 here of the fourth quarter. 1:40 left after the AU timeout. Left wide open, 3-pointer for Fresh. In and out. Taiwo gets the rebound. AU has struggled from downtown. 3 of 15.
And you don't get a look much better than that one.
Essence Brown, Colonials, every possession important now. Ty Moore thinking about it against Emily Johns. A long jumper on the left side, fade away. Wow. NBA style there from Ty Moore, 54-47, largest lead of the game for the Colonials.
Moore has proven to be the only really reliable offensive threat for GW. She was double-teamed and still willing to take the shot, and she knocks it down. Really, really impressive debut in a Colonials uniform for Ty Moore.
Stutter step handoff to John. She missed the layup, and Brown gets the rebound. 43 seconds left. Colonials with possession and the lead, and a foul against Edwards. And the Smith Center crowd enjoying the effort here in game 1 for Caroline McCombs.
The composure that we've seen from GW in this fourth quarter has been extremely impressive. And AU missing a lot of bunnies, a lot of gimmies. Something that I would not have expected from a team, again, that is so experienced, that played so well in the Patriot League last year.
Gingras to the line, hits the first one, the sophomore from Alexandria. Last year only 44% from the line, but that looked pretty good, and if she can continue that, she is going to get some playing time here with GW. Ball's loose on the floor. Vresh has it. And is it a timeout or a foul? We've got a timeout for AU with 34 seconds left.
I have to start bringing out some of my jokes.
Well, it's a long season. It's only game number 1, so I'm waiting for those jokes. Here is Edwards to drive. Fresh the three-pointer. No. Gingras got a piece of it, but Fisher controls.
Nice job by Essence Brown getting out of the way of committing foul.
Edwards misses the three. Johns is fouled with 20 seconds left. So the good news for George Washington, obviously, is they forced 2 tough shots that didn't go. And more importantly, they took 16 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and Byron, when you're shooting 3 of 16 from the three-point line, as you have been with AU, relying on taking those corner threes is a real gamble. You know, I don't know.
Johnson hit a couple of free throws, and that's a big miss there for her as the Eagles will make a couple of more substitutions here with 20 seconds left.
I think I would have taken the approach of, you know, by hell or high water, you've got to figure out how to get the quick 2.
And GW gets the rebound after Essence Brown with the inbound. Gets it to Gingras. She's fouled with 18 seconds left. And I've noticed this from the beginning of the game watching. I know it's only the first game with Caroline McCombs, Dave, but how calm the coaching staff is on the bench. Nobody's running around crazy, freaking out when they were down by 10 points. And I think as a coach, if you act like that on the bench, your players will act like that too and not panic. You know, I know it's only the first game, but you know, just watching the way she talks to her players, watching the way she handles herself on the bench. This is the same way she was when it was 18-8 AU, and the Colonials were up by 9.
Yeah, and I think what we have not seen that we've sort of seen in the past from this GW squad has been that sort of, you know, scared look in their eyes. They've looked just absolutely rock solid all throughout.
Huge rebound for Ty Moore. She now has a double-double, and it's the biggest rebound of the game, and it forces another foul against AU, and that pretty much seals it for George Washington to win the first game of the Caroline McCombs era here at the Smith Center.
What a special way to debut in a GW uniform, huh?
And Aria Gingras now has 15 minutes of playing time, looking to add to it here, try to go double digits on the lead for GW.
True freshman having fun out there.
Colonial fans loving what they're seeing here from George Washington.
Would you have predicted that Essence Brown was going to lead GW in minutes in this game?
No, because she didn't get that kind of playing time last year. But it's fun to see a lot of these players get a chance to kind of spread their wings a little bit here in the first game.
Without question.
Fisher, the jumper in the lane's no good. Ty Moore, another rebound. Ball knocked out of bounds. It should be GW ball, and it is with 3 seconds left, and that will do it. You would expect AU not to do anything and just let them run out the clock as George Washington down by 10 points after a jumper was made by AU in the first 10 seconds of the second quarter. They were down 18-8.